Hello, my name is Christina. I was diagnosed with lupus when I was 19 years old. I'm currently 35 years old, so it's been a good over 14 years battling with lupus. Just to get a diagnosis was very difficult for me. Back then, I was a real social butterfly, so I was running track and swimming and very social in my second year of college at Eastern Michigan University. I was slowly starting to get very tired, very fatigued. I was taking a million naps a day and waking up still tired. From doing that, I started going to my doctor, just letting her know something is wrong with me. She would give me medications, just saying, "Here, take this, and we'll see if it helps you feel better." But I was not feeling better. It got to a point where I was missing so much class that it was really becoming a problem trying to take all of my college courses. It got to a point where I got so physically weak I couldn't even carry my groceries into my campus apartment. So I went to my doctor for like the ninth time and I told her, "Can you please send me to a specialist so we can see what's wrong with me?" Because it was to a point where I can't even carry a 2 liter gallon of milk into the house by myself. I was really weak and something was wrong. So she sent me to the University of Michigan Hospital, which was right up the street from my school. And there, a specialist ran all of the blood work and they told me to come in so they could tell me about what my diagnosis was. So I brought my mother with me, and we went in, and they told me, Christina, my whole diagnosis is mixed connective tissue disease, but the main thing I've been triggered by is lupus. Lupus is included in that. So we didn't. It was not much information out there. It was no Tony Braxton. It was no Nick Cannon at the time talking about what lupus was and living and thriving with it. So I was just kind of in a lost space. I'm only 19. I just wanted to feel better and get back to feeling like myself. So the doctors told me, there's medications, but there's not a cure for this disease. And I was like, okay, give me some medicine so I can feel better, whatever. So from there, I started taking a lot of steroids and other autoimmune medications. And I was still trying to go to school and handle this chronic illness that was taking over. I felt like my body became like an 80-year-old woman's. Like I had really bad arthritis pains where I could barely open my hands to or either open up a bottle of water or turn the key in the car, or the house door became so difficult. The simple things in life and the things I like to do, like I wasn't really able to do that just because of the fatigue and the pain I was going through. So it's just I was always trying to find a way to still be myself in spite of this chronic illness that was taking over. Um, During the time I stopped going to my doctor appointments when I was just getting into the groove of working and everything. I thought I could handle my life without seeing a doctor because I didn't want to hear any bad news or anything else that was wrong with me. So I quit going to my appointments and I ended up just passing out at work. Like that was not the best thing to do, the best decision. But it's like as people with fighting chronic illness, sometimes we get tired of seeing doctors. So it's just been such a rough journey. And I've dealt with kidney failure. I've dealt with having high blood pressure, hypertension really bad to the point where I was in a coma for over 30 days. And my mom was really in a hopeless place because there was no support. She didn't know anything about lupus and the doctors had told her there was nothing else they could do for me. So she came up with the idea of starting something called the Christina Project, where she wanted to tell the world what was going on with me in the hospital and why I was in a coma, and trying to raise awareness about lupus so it could be some more help out there for people like her and me who needed the support at the time. So thankfully, I woke up from that coma and I wanted to keep my mom's vision of the Christina Project going. So I decided to start going to visit other lupus warriors that are in the hospital because I've had over 100 hospital stays. So I know what it's like to be there, and a lot of people are alone. So even though I have a huge support group, I noticed that a lot of other lupus warriors didn't have that. So I just go and surprise other lupus warriors with flowers and balloons and just sit there and talk to them and give them the resources that I know about. I try to advocate with them, even with their doctors, because we all know sometimes doctors don't listen to us very well. Um, I just do so much. And then like having a chronic illness or having lupus and going to work since I was 19, 35 now. But during all these years, it's been so hard for me with balancing keeping a job and then also going to get treatment for lupus. Because I tell people all the time that treatment for lupus is like treatment for cancer. So it's a lot of doctor appointments, it's a lot of blood draws, it's a lot of getting checked on for it. So with that struggle, I started, sharing my story online on social media. And a young lady at my job came up and told me, you could also help share your stories to change policies and laws. And I was like, really? So she introduced me to a group called Mothering Justice, and they're a nonprofit policy grassroots organization that looks to empower and get women of color engaged with the policymaking process. So I started advocating with me, and they were like, we are going to teach you how to effectively share your story so that you can, you know, make moves with these Congress members and encourage them to help change these laws. And we were fighting for paid sick time for all Michigan workers. So for the past 7 years, I've been sharing my story with them about the need for paid sick time. And this year they just hired me as a paid leave organizer for them. So now my job is to make sure all Michigan workers don't have to make the choice that I did, like not going to my doctor appointments and choosing between work and taking care of myself. And I'm happy to say we did have a huge legal win. So everyone in Michigan will get access to paid sick time. And people with chronic illnesses or like having lupus, we need paid sick time the most. And even caregivers who help take care of us need paid sick time, because when we're in the hospital, we're not really thinking about, our health and getting better. We think about those bills coming up at home and the fact that we got to go to work. So it is so much. And I tell people like my job, I feel it's my passion and my purpose, because like it's my life and we are the experts based off our lived experiences. So just making it through lupus, we can make it through anything. So it's a little bit of my story. I share so much.